Hello everyone. As part of today's session, we are going to discussing about PHP statements or control structures. So generally in either in case of program or it may be in case of script. So in what order we are going to seeing the instruction within our code, in the same order they will be executed. So whatever the instructions we are having. But sometimes what we require is, so depending upon certain condition satisfaction, either we need to select here one set of statements or we need to here select another set of statements, so in order to run them, or sometimes some particular set of sequence of statements, so we need to here repeatedly execute it as long as some condition has been satisfied. So in that cases, so we need to go with control structures. So generally in case of control structures, we are having two different types of statements. So the first one we are going to be having is conditional statements. Okay, the second one we are going to be having is looping statements. So in case of conditional statements, so what we are going to be doing is here, so depending upon the outcome of one particular condition satisfaction, so outcome of conditional satisfaction nothing but, so either it may be true or false. So depending upon true or false status of the condition execution, so we are going to selecting some set of instructions to execute them. So that kind of statements, so we generally call as conditional statements. So whereas in case of looping statements, so as long as condition is satisfied, some block of statements we need to repeatedly execute. So that kind of statements, so we generally call as looping statements. So conditional statements, so are the same, even we can also sometimes call as selection statements. So looping statements, so we also call as repetition statements. So first we will focus on conditional statements. So the conditional statements whatever we are having in case of PHP are, so simple if statement, if else statement, if else if, ladder, then we are having nested if statement, so then finally we are having the switch case statement. So all these, so we are going to be considering as conditional statements. Okay, so whereas the looping statements whatever we are having is while loop, do while loop, then we are having for loop. So within for loop, so we are having some invariants, right? So like we are having for each loop and we are having infinite loop also. So we'll discuss all this in detail one by one here. So first we will go with if statement. So syntax of if statement is, so something like if of condition. So then we need to here execute some set of statements. Okay, so what we are going to be doing in case of if statement is, so first we are going to checking for a condition. So if this condition is true, so then what set of statements we are going to be executing, or we have to here execute. So that one we are going to be keeping in between opening and closing parentheses here. So followed by the if keyword here. Okay, so whenever this condition becomes false, so what are the statements we need to execute, or what kind of action we have to here perform, we are not going to be mentioning, right? So whenever the condition is satisfied, so in that case what type of operation we need to here perform, if only you are going to be specifying that kind of thing, so then that kind of if statement we are going to be calling as, so simple if statement. Okay, so for suppose we are going to here writing like, so if of x is greater than 5. Okay, so then, so here what we need to do is y equal to x plus 2 operation we need to here execute here. So let us say as of now x variable value is, so in case of PHP variable name you need to proceed with dollar symbol here. So here $y, so $x here. So let us say as of now $x value we are having is 10. So 10 value is greater than 5. So which is true here. So because of true, so here y value we are going to be here updating as so current x value. So that is 10 plus 2 here. So you will get y value as here 12. Okay. So instead of that one, so let us say as of now x value we are having is minus 4. So minus 4 greater than 5. So here the condition is false. So in case of condition becoming false, what we need to perform we didn't mention here. So because of that, so here it doesn't perform any kind of operation. So simply whatever the code we are having in between opening and closing parentheses will be skipped here. So that kind of statement we generally call as simple if statement here. Okay, so then we will go for the next type of if statement we are having, if else statement. So in case of if else statement, so the syntax we are going to be following will be so something like this. So if of, so we are going to checking for a condition. So if the condition becomes true, so then what set of statements we need to here execute. So that one we are going to be here placing followed by the block whatever we are going to having in case of if keyword. So then if the condition is becoming false, right? So whenever the condition gets here unsatisfied, so in that case what statements we need to here execute, so that one we are going to be placing within a block, so which is followed by the else keyword here. So right, so here we are going to writing something like statements 2 here. So nothing but when the condition is satisfied, execute the statements which are present in if block. When the condition is going to be becoming false here, so then here we need to execute the statement whatever we are having within else block here. So block nothing but a group of statements, means either it may be one statement or more than one statement, so that you are going to be keeping in between opening and as well as closing parentheses, I mean closing braces here. Okay, so as an example, so let us say we are going to writing the code something like this: if of $x is greater than 10. Okay, so here we are going to writing so $y equal to so $x plus 2 here. Okay, so then else what we are going to writing is so $y equal to $x minus 2 here. Then you are going to closing the else block here. Okay, so let us say as of now x value we are going to be having is 5. So check the condition here. So 5 greater than 10. So here the condition become unsatisfied, means here it is false. So in case of false, then we need to execute the statements which are part of else block here. So within the else block, so from the x value we are going to reducing 2, and whatever the result we are obtaining we are storing in y here. So nothing but as of now x value is 5. So from 5 we need to subtract 2, and whatever the result we are obtaining, so we are going to be here storing back in y variable. So means y value you will get as here 3. Okay, so here let us say $x value we are having is 10. So in case of 10, so here 10 so something like instead of 10 we are having 15. So 15 greater than 10. So here the condition is true. So in this case, so y value you need to update, so something like y equal to x plus 2 here. So y equal to x value is 15 plus 2 means you will get as here 17. Okay, so that is about the if else statement here. So whereas the next one we are having is if else if ladder. So previous the if else statement whatever we are having, if you observe, so there we are having only two outcome possibilities, means when condition, either the condition may become true or it may become false here. If it is true, what we need to execute. If it is false, what we need to execute. Only that kind of thing we can do with the help of if else statement. But so sometimes instead of here only going with two alternate outcomes, so here we need to here go with multiple alternate outcomes here. So means let us say we want to here check for a condition. If the condition is true, then we need to execute some set of statement. If the condition is false, then we need to here execute another condition checking here. So means we need to perform one more condition checking. So if it is true, then we need to here perform some other operation. If it is false, then we need to go for some other condition checking here. So like that, so whenever the condition is going to be becoming false, so we need to here check for some alternate condition here. So somewhere we are going to stopping this alternate condition checking, so which will be the last phase of your entire execution flow here. So in order to do that kind of things or operation, we are going to using here if else if ladder here. So syntax will be so something like this one. Okay, so here if of, you are going to checking condition 1. If this condition is true, so then we are going to here executing statements 1. So else means when the condition 1 is false, so then we are going to checking for one more condition. If the condition is 2 is satisfied, then we need to here perform the execution of statements 2. Else otherwise we need to here check for one more condition. So like that, so this process will be continued, and somewhere when none of the conditions have been satisfied, so what we need to here implement, so that one you need to here place in case of the last else block here. So when condition 1, condition 2, condition 3 are remaining, whatever the conditions we are having are not satisfied, then the statements which are part of else will be here executed. So these statements are optional here, so no need to even keep the last else block also here. Okay, so in the same way, let us say, so somewhere here if condition 2 has been satisfied, in that case, so only we need to execute the statements which are part of second if condition, and we need to stop the execution there itself. No need to go with checking the condition of condition 3, condition 4, whatever we are having till the end of the if else if ladder here. Means we are going to bypassing the conditions whenever one of the condition has been here satisfied. Okay, so that kind of statements, so we generally here execute with the help of if else if ladder here. Okay, so as an example, if you observe here, so let us say we are going to having here two variables, $x whose value is 10. So then we are having $y equal to, so whose value we are going to having here 15. So we are checking here if $x equal to $y. So in that case we need to here print so something like so equal. So here when x value is equal to y value, so then we need to display the message as equal here. X value is 10, y value is 15. Here in case of this condition is false. In case of false, so then we need to here check for one more condition, right? So if else of x value, we are going to comparing with y value, x greater than y. So if it is true, x is 10, 10 greater than y means 15 here. So condition here also not satisfied. So in that case, so we need to here display when x value is greater than y value. So in that case, we need to here display x greater condition, or something like message we need to display is greater. So else we need to here display so less than. So means here we are checking the relationship between x and y. So we are going to here first checking x is equal to y. If this is true, we need to display equal. So otherwise we need to check for one more condition if x value is greater than y. So if this value is greater than y, then we need to display the message greater. Otherwise we need to here display that it is less than. Okay, the last kind of if statement we are going to be having is nested if. So nested if nothing but, so if one if else statement, if we are going to be keeping inside another if block or another else block, so that kind of statements, so we generally call as, so here nested if statements. So within if of condition 1. Okay, so then for this if, we are going to keeping one else block. Okay, so if the condition 1 is satisfied, so then we need to check for one more condition, if condition 2. If it is satisfied, so then we need to here execute statements 1. Okay, if this second condition is satisfied, not satisfied, in that case we need to here execute statements 2 here. Okay, so then the same kind of one more if else statement we are going to be keeping inside else also. So if the condition 2 instead of condition 2, we are going to keeping here condition 3. So here statements 3. So here I am going to keeping statements 4 here. Okay, so then finally we are going to closing the last else block. So what is the meaning of this one is, here actually one if else statement we kept inside this entire if block. At the same time, within the else block also, which is outer else, so inside that one again we kept one one more if else statement here. So that means one if else statement you are going to be keeping inside another if or another else statement. So that kind of thing we generally call as here nested if else statements here. Okay, so here what is the meaning of this particular flow is when condition 1, condition 2 both are satisfied, then we need to execute statements 1. When condition 1 is false and when condition 1 is true and condition 2 is false, in that case we need to execute statements 2 here. When condition 1 is itself false, in that case we need to go for outer else block. So then we need to check if condition 3 is true. So when condition 1 is false and condition 3 is true, in that case we need to here execute statements 3. When condition 1 is false and condition 3 is also false, in that case we need to execute here statements 4 here. Okay, so that kind of approach we generally call as nested if else statement here. So as an example, if you take here, we are writing like, so if of $A greater than $B. Okay, so then again we are checking if of $B greater than $C here. Okay, so then we are writing $A equal to $B plus $C here. Okay, so else we are going to writing here, so $A equal to we are writing $A equal to $B into $C here. Okay, so then we need to close the outer if. So then I am going to writing here else block for outer if else. So here echo we need to print nothing here. Okay, so what is the meaning of this statement is, or this particular code is, we are checking if A value is greater than B. If it is true, then we are checking for one more condition. So if B is greater than also C, in that case means when A is greater than B and as well as B is greater than C, in that case A value we are going to be here calculating as B and C addition result here. So whenever the first condition is true, if A value is greater than B but B is not greater than C, so in that case we are going to multiplying B and C values and we are going to storing in A here. Let us say the first condition itself is false, if A value is less than B, so in that case we are going to simply writing as nothing here. Okay, so that is one example for nested if statement. The next one we are going to having is switch case statement. So in case of switch case statement, so what we are going to be doing is here, so we are going to evaluating one variable value, evaluate a variable value, so by comparing that with some set of other values. Okay, so we'll be having one variable, that variable value we are going to be here, so comparing with multiple constant values which are part of some case labels, right? So whenever there is a match, so depending upon that a particular block of statements will be here executed here. Okay, so see the syntax here. So here first we are going to writing as, so switch of variable, so this variable value you are going to be comparing with some other set of values which are part of case labels here, so followed by case keyword whatever the values we are having here. So here, so followed by that we are going to here writing some or executing some set of statements here, statements 1. So then finally at the end of each and every case block we need to here keep the break statement, case 1. So in the same way case 2, so case 3, so like that you will be having multiple cases here. Okay, so statements 2, so here case 1 statement, case 3, here you will be having statements 3. So when like that you will be having multiple case statements. So then finally, so here we need to have one default block. Okay, so here we need to execute some statements. So for default break is not mandatory. So here even for case blocks also the break statements are not mandatory. So here this particular variable value which is present in switch, we are going to comparing with case labels here. So let us say variable value is 1. So this 1 we are going to here comparing with case block values. Here also we are having 1. Here variable value itself is 1. So both are matching means whatever the statements we are having within the case 1 block will be executed. So these statements will be executed, and then we are going to breaking here itself, means we are stopping the execution itself, right? So no need to execute the statements which are part of case 2, case 3, and as well as default here. Okay, so let us say variable value as of now we are having is 2. So variable value we are having 2, so that one we are going to here comparing with case 1. So variable value 2, label value we are having is 1. Both are not matching. So in that case we need to go for next one. So here case value we are having 2, variable value also we are having as what? 2. So both are matching means, so in that case, so here we need to execute the statements which are part of case 2 block here. So like that, so we are going to here comparing variable value with all the case labels. Whenever there is one of the in sequentially, whenever there is a match in one of the case label, so that associated case labels block statement will be executed here. So when none of them are going to be matching, then whatever the statements we are having within default will be executed here. So default statements are here optional. So whenever there is no break statement within any one of the case block here, so then execution will continue from case 1 to or case 2 to next case here. So let us say as of now here we don't have break statement within case 2. Okay, so here variable value we are having is 2. So here variable value 2 we need to compare with first case. So here case label 1, 2 is not equal to 1, so we need to go for next case. So next case label we are having is what? 2. 2 value has been here matching with our variable value 2. So both are matching means we need to actually execute the statements which are part of case 2. So after that one, if you see followed by statements 2, we don't have any break statement. So in that case, instead of stopping the execution there itself, it will go to the case 3. It will enter into case 3 and also execute the statements 3. Then followed by that, it will stop the execution. Okay, so that is how the operation of switch case will be here existing. Okay, so that is about all different types of conditional statements we are having in case of PHP. So then followed by that one, so we are having looping statements. So in case of looping statements, so we are having while loop, do while loop, and as well as for loop. So if you see the syntax of while loop, so we'll be having so while of condition. So then followed by that, so we need to here execute some set of statements, then followed by that, so here we need to perform some kind of increment operation here. Okay, so then if you see the syntax of do while, so here you will be having the similar kind of statements. So but in the beginning, instead of here condition checking, you will be having here do block. So then followed by that, at the ending you need to keep here condition, and then finally you need to terminate with a semicolon. Okay, so if you see the syntax of the for loop, so for loop will be having here three expressions: expression 1, expression 2, so then expression 3. Okay, so then followed by that, so here so some set of statements, whatever you need to repeatedly execute, we have to keep here. Okay, so this is simple for syntax here. So whatever it may be, either it may be while loop or do while loop or for loop. So basically all these three type of looping statements we are going to be here using. So in order to repeatedly execute some set of statements, okay, as long as some condition is satisfied. So once the condition is going to becoming unsatisfied, in that case we need to exit from the while loop and we need to here execute the statements whatever we are having followed by while, do while or for loop here. Okay, so what is the difference between all these three loops means we need to prefer for loop. So whenever we know in advance how many number of times we need to perform the repetitions, okay, either we may call as repetition or the same we may also call as iteration. But in case of while and do while loop, if you take, so we need to prefer them whenever we don't know exactly how many number of iterations we are going to be making in advance. When we know, we need to go with while for loop. When we don't know, we need to prefer here while and as well as here do while loop here. So but when we have to go with while loop and as well as when we have to go with do while loop means, so whenever there is a need of checking the condition at the beginning itself. Okay, so in that case prefer while loop. Whenever you need to perform the condition checking, so at the ending, so you need to go with do while loop here. So if you observe here while loop, so in the while loop at the beginning itself we are going to checking the condition. If the condition is true, then only we are going to entering into the body of the loop, and then we are going to performing some execution of statements, then we are going to performing some increment operation, okay, related to this particular condition. Okay, so here then followed by that one, so here again we are going to checking for condition one more time. So when the condition is true, then execute the statements and repeat this process as long as the condition is going to becoming true here. So for suppose in case of while loop, let us say the very first time itself is condition false. In that case, not at all we are going to entering into the loop body of the while loop here. Means when the condition is false, there are no iterations at all. We are not at all going to executing the statements of the while loop. At least for one time also we are not going to executing. But in case of do while loop, so if you observe, even before checking the condition, okay, so we are going to here executing the statements which are part of this block at least one time. Then at the end we are going to checking the condition. So if the condition is true, so then we are going to again executing the same statements again. Okay, so means here the difference between while loop and do while loop, if you observe, in case of while loop you are checking the condition at the beginning. In case of do while loop, you are going to checking the condition at the ending. So that is the reason why we call while loop as entry control loop and do while loop as exit control loop here. As here we are going to checking the condition at the entry itself, here we are going to checking the condition at the exit here. Okay, so in case of do while loop, even if the condition is false for the first time itself, so in that case also body of the loop will be executed for at least for one time. That is the major difference between while and do while. So in case of while loop, if the condition is false for the first time itself, then we are not at all entering into the body of the loop. But whereas in case of do while loop, if the condition itself is false for the first time itself, even before checking the condition as we are entering into body of the loop, there is a chance of executing the loop of the body of the loop at least for one time. That is the difference between while and do while loop here. Okay, so as an example we can here take that. So let us say we are having initial I value is 5. Okay, so while of I is less than 10. Okay, so then we are going to here our I we can take as something like $I. So here we are going to here displaying something, a message called echo CSC. Okay, so here then close the while loop. Okay, so I value you need to increment. Okay, so this is condition, this is statement, and this one is increment here operation. Okay, so initially I value is 5. So first we'll check I value is less than 10, 5 less than 10, true. So true means then we are displaying CSC, then increment I value now becomes 6. Okay, 6 less than 10. So like that, so this condition will be here executed as long as I value is less than 10. Okay, so totally 6 number of times you will see here. I less than 10 means, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Totally 5 number of times you will get the value CSC here. Okay, so but let us say initially I value itself is 50. So 50 is less than 10. False. False means in that case you are not at all going to entering into the while loop. Means there are no CSC terms will be displayed as an output here. Okay, so let us say 5. One time we have taken, and second time we have taken 50 when I equal to 5, when I equal to 50. Okay, the same code. So for suppose you are going to be writing, so with the help of do while loop. Okay, so in case of do while loop, you are going to first not checking the condition, so directly you are executing the statements here, then you are performing increment operation. At the end you are going to checking the condition here. Okay, so let us say as of now I value we have taken as 5 one time, I value you have taken as 50 for one time. So in case of I equal to 5 here, okay, so if you observe, so here first we are going to displaying CSC, then increment I value. I value means I plus plus means 5 plus plus means you will get here 6. So 6 is less than 10, true. So true means again one more time you are going to executing. In that case we don't have any kind of problem. But let us say initially I value is 50, okay. So I value is as of now 50. So here without checking whether I is less than 10 or not, first we are displaying CSC. So then increment I value means I value now you will get as here 51. So 51. So then followed by that 51 less than 10, which is false. So in that case, next time you are not entering into loop here. Means even if the condition is for the very first time itself false, so still you are displaying CSC as the output at least for one time. That is the variation between while and as well as do while loops here. So the last one we are having is first statement. So first statement, so we have to prefer when we know how many number of times exactly we need to perform the repetitions here, okay. So in case of for, again we are having two more variations, so which we generally call as either infinite loop or for each loop here. So these two we will check, so in case of explanation of programs itself. So but for if you take so for is consisting of three phases, okay. One is expression 1, expression 2, expression 3. So here expression 1 is nothing but, so which is the beginning means it is iteration assignment, or simply we can call as initialization, okay. Then expression 2 we are having is, this is condition checking, okay. The expression 3 whatever we are having is nothing but it is iteration representation, means either it may be increment or decrement operations here, okay. So how we are going to doing is here we will take one loop control variable in order to here control this particular for loop here. So to that particular loop control variable, so within the expression 1 we are going to initially assigning some value. So that is the reason we are calling as expression 1 initialization. Then followed by that for the first iteration we are checking here whether that particular loop control variable value is less than or greater than some particular predefined value. So if it is true, then we are going to here executing the statements of the for loop. So then followed by that completion of the entire statements present in for loop body, then we are going to moving towards expression 3. So where we are going to here incrementing or decrementing the loop control variable value here, okay. So then again we are going for expression 2. So within the expression 2 we are checking for again condition. If it is true, then again we are going to executing the statements of the body of the for loop. Again we are moving towards expression 3. So where we are here again performing increment or decrement operation. Like that this procedure will be here continued as long as the condition whatever we are having within expression 2 is true. Once it is false, then we are moving out of the for loop, and whatever the statements we are having out of the for loop we are going to be executing here, okay. So let us say initially I value we are going to having as 1. I is a loop control variable here. $I less than or equal to 5. $I less than or equal to 5. $I plus plus. Okay, so within this one we are going to here trying to display CSC value, okay. Echo CSC, okay. So here first we are checking we are initially assigning I value as 1. Then we are going to here checking 1 is less than or equal to 5. Since it is true, then here execute this echo statement and display CSC. After that one again go to increment part. So now I value will be here incremented by 1. 1 plus plus means 2. So after this one again here check the condition I less than or equal to 5. I value is as of now 2. 2 less than or equal to 5. True means again we have to here display CSC. Then go back to the iteration phase here. So like that this will be here repeated as long as I value is less than or equal to 5 here. So means overall this loop statements will be executed 5 times. So then you will see the output as CSC 5 number of times here. Okay, so infinite for loop means, so here you will be having, so for loop without any iteration, condition checking, and as well as initialization. So whatever the statements we are having within the inside of the infinite for loop, so that will be here repeatedly executed forever. Okay, so here CSC we are trying to display from the inside of the infinite for loop, means CSC will be displayed forever, so until unless we are closing the browser. Okay, so that is about the infinite for loop variation. So then finally we are having for each statement. So for each statement, so syntax is something like for each array expression, for each array expression as value. So then we need to here perform some statements. Okay, so for each statement we are going to be using in order to access a list of elements which are part of array. Either it may be associative array, so or it may be some numerical indexed array. Okay, so we'll see this one so through a example of PHP script. Okay, so that is what about different types of statements we are going to be having. Okay, either it may be conditional statements or it may be looping statements in case of PHP. So now we will discuss all these statements so with an PHP scripts examples. Okay. So now we are going to discussing so example PHP scripts for so all the different types of statements we are having. So in case of PHP language, so first we will start with simple if statement. So save as, so go to your C drive, so within C drive under exam folder, so go to htdocs. So within htdocs I am going to writing simple if demo dot php, save as type all files. Okay, so that save your program script. Okay, so now as part of this one, so we are going to here so having HTML and closing HTML tags. So within this one you will be having header and as well as closing header tags. So then you will be having body tag opening and closing. So then so after this one, so within the header section itself you will be having title. Okay, so the title I am going to diving is PHP simple if demo. Okay, so slash title. Okay, so till now what we have seen is, so within the script itself we have taken the variable values, but so now what we are doing is, so from the browser using the forms we are going to taking the input value. So that input value we are going to here storing within the one of the variable of your PHP script code here. Okay, so for this one what we need to do is we need to use some text boxes. So from the text boxes we need to collect the numbers, and those numbers you need to here store within the variables here. Okay, so how we can do that one, so we are going to be seeing in this PHP script here. Okay, so first design one form, so and the method via which you are going to reading the data is using post method. Okay, user is going to posting the values and that one we are going to be receiving here. Okay, so then slash form. So within the inside of the form, so here we have to ask the user. Okay, so why we are going to writing this program is, so let us say we are going to here providing one number, so that number we need to here check if it is even number. Okay, so simply we have to check if it is a even number. If it is even number, then we need to display it is even number. If the given number is odd number, so then we should not display anything. So nothing should be given as output here. Okay, so for that one first we are going to here asking the user to enter a number. Okay, so followed by that you have to see one input text field here. So for that one take input element, So type value you have to give as here. So since we have to only read number instead of text, we can take here number. So for this particular number, whatever you are going to be providing through this input field, so we have to assign some name here. Okay, let us say name attribute value we are going to giving as num here. Okay, so then followed by that one. So here use break statement. Okay, so break statement we are going to using to display the next thing in next line. Okay, followed by that. So here so design one submit button. So input type equal to submit. So then followed by that one. So here name also we have to give as submit. Okay, so that is how we are going to designing one form. Okay, so simply you have to here see one, enter a number followed by text field. If we are going to clicking giving some number, then followed by that, if we are pressing submit button, then that value should be here posted, and that should be received within your PHP script here. Okay, so now a script you need to begin PHP. So then closing script tag. Okay, so then followed by that, how we are going to receiving that one means, so whatever the values you are going to be posting using the form, all they will be here stored within one global variable, super global variable. So that is underscore post, which is one associative array. Okay, actually post is a associative array. So where indexes will be having here, so something with the name, whatever we are going to be providing for the that particular input number field here. So for this number field, the name we have provided is num. So that num will be here treated as the index of the post. Okay, so then within that num index, whatever the value you are going to be providing, so that will be stored here. So let us say if you are going to here giving the entering the value as 7, so that 7 will be here stored within $_post array variable at the specified index. Okay, so what is the name of the index means whatever the name we have given. So the name we have given is num. So means within the post array variable at the index called num, value 7 will be stored here. Okay, so that is how you are going to storing the values within post array variable here. Okay, so then first we need to check is if your post array is having at least one value. Okay, so if of $_post means within the array if we are having some value, if this condition is true, so then in that case what we need to do is here, so within the post array variable, okay, at num index whatever the value we are having, so that one we need to store within the target variable something like var. Okay, so this var variable value we need to here check if it is a even number or not. Okay, how we are checking the even condition even or not means, so simply we have to check if it is a even or not. Okay, so in that case use your if. So $var modulus 2 equal to 0. So if this condition is true, so then we need to here display echo given number. So given number nothing but, so given number we stored in the target variable var. Okay, so $var is an even number. Okay, so then if the condition is false, then we should not display anything. Okay, so this is how we are going to writing our PHP script, and we are reading the input from the forms. Okay, so we'll see the output. Already for time being I have ran so our PHP exam server. So now we have to take the browser Chrome. So there, here localhost. So then followed by that, so we have given the file name as so simple if demo. Okay, simple if demo dot php. Sorry, php. Okay, so now if you see here, it is asking to enter a number. Let us say I am giving the number as 56. Okay, so 56, then followed by that I am going to here pressing on submit. So then it is displaying as 56 is an even number. Let us say instead of that I am going to here giving as 45. So 45 means it is an odd number. In that case it should not display anything. So since that it is a odd number, it is not showing any output, and it is going to again refreshing the form itself. Okay, so that is about how we are going to be writing the code in PHP script with the help of simple if demo. Okay, So the same code I am going to copying so into another file, so using save as. So save as under htdocs. So now I want to demonstrate here if else demo.php. okay, so instead of text documents, all files. Okay, so now what we have to do, yeah, okay, so what now we are going to doing is here, so here instead of php simple if demo, we are going to here demonstrating php if else demo. Okay, so here what we are doing means when the condition var modulus 2 equal to 0, then if it is true, we have to display it is an even number. If this condition is going to becoming false, then we have to display that it is a odd number. So for this if, I am going to adding else. Okay, so display the given number is odd number, is an odd number. Okay, so see the output now. So instead of simple if demo, you have to give the file name as localhost / if else demo dot php. Run this one. Again it is asking for a number. So now let us say I am giving as 12. It has to display 12 is an even number. It is showing 12 is an even number. Let us say instead of 12 I am giving as some 67. So since 67 is odd number, it has to display 67 is an odd number. Okay, so that is about the working nature of so your if else demo. Okay, so then followed by that one. So here I am going to discussing about example PHP script for your if else if ladder. Okay, so save the same file as if else if demo dem.php, all files. Okay, save. So now what we are going to doing is here, so simply we are going to here reading two numbers. Okay, let us say the first number you are having 7, the second number is also 7. When both the numbers are equal, in that case we have to display that so both are equal. Okay, let us say first number you gave as 10, second number you gave as 5. In that case you have to display 10 is greater than 5. Let us say you gave the first number as 15, the second number you have gave as 35. In that case you have to display 15 is less than 35. Okay, with respect to first number, we need to check the relation of second number. Okay, so for doing this one, what we need to do is we need to take two text fields for reading two numbers. Those two text field variable values we need to here receive in our PHP variables. Okay, so form here method again post enter, instead of here a number we have to here take first number, enter first number. Okay, so input type number, since we are having two numbers, first name you have to take as num1. Okay, then followed by that you have to ask to enter second number. Okay, so enter second number. Okay, so here instead of num1 you have to take as num2. Again you have to create one submit button. So then followed by that one. So here if of same thing. So within the post global variable, if you are having so some values at the specified indexes, in that case those values you have to receive and you need to store within our PHP script variables. Okay, so since we are having two numbers, so first one I am going to taking as n1, the second one I am going to here taking as n2. Okay, so within n1 the first value whatever you are going to be entering through the first field, we need to here receive the value and store in n1. The second value whatever you are going to be entering here, you need to receive and store in n2. Okay, within n1 whatever the value we are having within post array, so at num1 index we need to here store in n1, means $_ within post variable at num1 index. Okay, whatever the value we are having we have to store in n1. Okay, so at the same time within post array at num2 whatever the value we are having within n2 we need to store in n2. Okay, so then after that one we need to check n1 equal to n2. Okay, so if it is true, so then in that case we have to display echo both n1 and n2 are equal. Okay, so else if it is not true, then in that case we need to check for a condition if n1 value is greater than n2. If it is true, so then in that case what you need to display is n1 is greater than n2. n1 is greater than n2. Okay, so if the first two conditions are not satisfied, okay, so then in that case else when n1 is not equal to n2 and n1 is not greater than n2, obviously here n1 will be less than n2. Okay, so in that case out other than three possibilities you don't have any other possibility, so for that reason simply you can keep as else here, or if you wish to keep the condition then you can write down as if else if $n1 is less than $n2. Okay, so then in that case what you have to display is n1 value is less than n2. Okay, so that is our program. So then try to run this one in your browser. Okay, if else demo instead of that one. If else if demo, if else if demo dem.php. Enter first number, enter second number. So first number you are giving as 10, second number you are giving as 10, both are equal, means you have to display 10 and 10 are equal. Let us say you are giving first number as 20, second number as 14. In that case we have to get the output as 20 is greater than 14. You got 20 is greater than 14. So first number you gave as 18, second number you gave as 45. In that case you have to get the output as 18 is less than 45. You got same output. That is about if else if ladder. So then go for one more program. So nested if demo.php. Save this one. So now within nested if what we are doing is here, so we are going to here taking three numbers. Okay, so let us say the numbers you are going to giving is 10, 20, 30, 40. Out of three numbers you have to here select the maximum number. Okay, so maximum number selection, for that one we are going to writing one program. So means here totally we need to read three numbers. Okay, so create one more text field. So and for this one you have to keep the message as enter third number. So here name you have to give as num3. Okay, so form you have to take one more variable n3. So here instead of num2 you have to give as num3. Okay, so here we need to check out of n1, n2 and n3 which is the maximum number. Okay, so for doing this we need to use the nested if concept. So if of $n1 value is greater than $n2. Okay, so if this condition is true, what we need to do? If this condition is false, what we need to do? We need to write the code. So when n1 is greater than n2, check here again if n1 is greater than n3 also. So when the first two conditions are satisfied, so obviously n1 is the maximum number. If n1 is greater than n2 and n1 is as well as greater than n3, so in that case you have to display as n1 is maximum number. Okay, so otherwise means when first condition is satisfied, n1 is greater than n2 and n1 is not greater than n3, so in that case n3 will be your maximum number. Okay, so see display this one, n1 instead of that one you have to use n3. Okay, so then followed by that, when the first condition is itself false, in that case you have to go to else block. There you need to check again one more condition, num2 is greater than, n2 is greater than n3. So if this condition is true, so in that case by default n2 is maximum number, otherwise n3 is maximum number. Okay, so here within the else block you have to display n3 is maximum number, within the if block we have to display here n2 is maximum number. Okay, so run the output in browser. Nested if demo, nested if demo dot php. So you are having three numbers. First I am giving 10, 20, so then 3. So out of 3 you are having the maximum number 20. You have to get as 20 is maximum number. You got 20 is maximum number. Okay, so that is about nested if. So then we have to discuss example for switch case. Okay, so switch case demo dot php. So all files, save. Okay, so here what we are doing is we are taking one classical example. So that is all the arithmetic operations we are going to be here trying to here execute with the help of switch case statement. Okay, so first what we need to do is here we need to read first number and second number, then we have to display some kind of menu, addition menu. So you need to here use break statement. So then addition, here we need to perform second one as subtraction. So then multiplication. So then here you have to perform division. So then finally you have to perform modulus. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so then after that one, here you have to display one message, enter your choice. So depending upon choice selection, we need to perform the respective operation on top of your two numbers. Okay, so input type equal to number, name equal to we are giving as choice. Okay, so then after that one, break statement. No need to keep here semicolons actually. So then after that one, within the PHP script, read these three, first number and second number and as well as your choice value. Okay, so $n1, $n2, then $choice. Okay, so after that one, you have to store the addition subtraction result of n1 and n2 in res variable. Declare that one. Okay, so within post variable at num1 index, whatever the value we are having, we need to store in n1. So within post array variable at num2, whatever the value we are having, we need to store in n2, and within post at choice index, whatever the value we are having, we need to store in ch. Okay, so then after that one, so take switch statement. So switch of $choice variable value we need to compare with all the case values. Okay, so case 1. So 1 means here we need to perform addition of n1 and as well as addition n2, and the result you need to store in res variable. So then after that one, you have to display the output. So sum of $n1 and $n2 is result we have stored in res, $res. Okay, so that one you need to display. Then you need to stop the execution, break. Okay, so then same kind of code we need to copy for remaining operation. So case 1, case 2 is for performing subtraction, $n1 minus n2. So instead of sum, we have to write as difference of n1 and n2. So here case 3 is to perform multiplication, $n1 into you can write as n2. So here multiplication or product of n1 and n2 is result. So then case 4, it is used to perform division. Okay, so after that one, here you have to display like division of n1 and n2 is the particular result. So after that one, case 5 is to perform modulus operation, n1 modulus n2. The result is your remainder of n1 and n2. Here instead of division, even you can write down as quotient, QUOTIENT. Okay, so after that one, so then here when instead of 1 to 5 values, if the user has entered some other value, let us say 6, 7, 8 like that, so in that case you have to display here invalid choice. Okay, so that is your PHP script code for demonstrating switch case demo. Okay, so here replace with switch case demo.php. okay, here PHP you can write down as switch case demo, where we are having num1, num2 and choice. They are used first time in 19th line. So something. So actually we don't have any error here, so simply it is one kind of warning, so let it be. So first number I am giving as 4, second number I am giving as 3, and we are going to giving the choice as 3. So 3 means it has to perform multiplication. 4 into 3 you have to get the result as 12. Product of 4 and 3 is 12. Okay, let us say you entered the first number as 4, so second number as 8, and you are going to performing the addition operation. For that one you are entering the choice as 1. Okay, so submit. 4 and 8 is 12. Okay, sum of 4 and 8 is 12. Okay, so remaining PHP scripts example for looping statements, so we will continue in the next session. Thank you so much.